Article says, they, meaning students, struggle with lengthy reading assignments and basic vocabulary. They don't know rudimentary algebra. They can't add or subtract fractions. They complain that deadlines, hard exams, and required attendance are impediments for their success. So what we're seeing right here already is the idea that not only are academic skills a real problem on college campuses today, but even sort of basic life skills. All right. And again, this is very real. We know from the data, I think it's somewhere nearing or maybe even surpassing 40% of incoming students at universities or two-year colleges require some level of remediation. All right. That's a pretty appalling statistic when you think kids have gone to school for 13 years, K through 12, 13 years of education, and somehow they need remediation. And that remediation is not, well, let's brush up on your calculus from senior year because you didn't quite handle it during your senior year, or let's practice writing that 15-page research paper a little more closely that you should have done as a senior. No. Remediation at college for these incoming freshmen or just brand new students is not brush up on your calculus or let's practice our professional style writing. No. This is fifth grade stuff. Really, that's taught in remedial classes. All right, I've taught them, so trust me. It's very low level. It's from a math standpoint, it's dealing with fractions and integers. Can you add a negative, that kind of stuff. This isn't difficult stuff. Yet these are things people are getting accepted at universities who can't do these things. Again, writing, it's not even research. It's can you write a paragraph that makes sense? Can you spell at least reasonably well? Do you know what a sentence is? This is remediation. And if we're talking about somewhere near 40% of all students have to be remediated, this is a problem. College isn't college anymore. All right. So again, it's not just the academic skills though. Deadlines, test taking, showing up. This is just basically being not even an adult, just any sort of responsible type of kid. Anyone past like age 8 should know how to show up to somewhere on time and that they need to turn in their homework, that kind of stuff. And this is what we're dealing with at the university level. But it's not just that these are problems. The problem is that professors think they're problems. This is what the article says. Although some professors view these deficits as problems to be fixed, many in academia have embraced bits of pedagogical fluff intertwined with fashionable DEI that suggest there is something demotivating, if not bigoted, about acknowledging deficits as deficits and holding students to basic academic or professional standards, while implying bad grades and a lack of maturity on the part of students are simply quirks educators just need to accept. Right. So instead of saying, look, college has a minimal standard. You need to be this qualified to be in college and take these types of classes so that you can learn the types of things universities traditionally taught and or to be prepared for the working world. Now, to try to address those deficits or those problems or those areas where students are a bit incompetent is now that you're the problem. You, the school, you, the professor, you're the problem. It's not the kid's fault. It's your fault. So this is being normalized that it's not that students have, that they lack. It's that we need to reframe what lacking even means. And reframing, as we'll see in the article, means, no, they don't lack anything. The fact that they can't do math, that's not a problem. The fact that they can't read or write, that's not a problem. It's a problem that we expect them to do math or to read or write or to employ scientific thinking or anything that we do at the university level. By the way, the sort of one of the practical effects of this or the practical results of this is billions of dollars are spent in going back and reteaching things that students should have learned from 5th through 12th grade. Billions of dollars. And from the student perspective, many students, the data is pretty clear that any students who take remediation, there is a certain percentage that we know will not graduate. They just won't. They're too far behind. And they get to college, and even with remediation, they still look around and go, this is too hard. I can't handle this. I have too many other things going on. I'm too distracted, whatever the problems are, and they're not going to make it. So we have this very weird, complex problem that's 5 other problems all combined, that it's an academic problem, it's a basic life and social skill problem, it's an expectations problem, it's a money problem, and it's this isn't actually working and it's not going to work kind of problem. Like the philosophy behind it is a failing philosophy. So, the point of all of this that we'll explore here as we go into this short article is that, as I said, DEI is just the symptom. It's not the disease. This is the disease. The disease is the overall reduction of standards, reduction of rigor, accepting incompetence, not having consequences or accountability. That's the real problem on university campuses. It's been that way for a little while now, and it's just gotten sped up in the last couple of years. Again, DEI is sort of one of the very visible manifestations of this problem, because inherent in DEI is that, well, you're not capable, so we have to help you. We need to make accommodations for everybody because you're not good enough anyway. So we'll adjust the whole system to accommodate you. That's really the patronizing, discriminatory belief of what DEI is. But again, that's just sort of the physical thing that you can see. You can see these crazy policies. You can read about them or hear from students or professors talk about them. That's sort of like the tumor or the lesion that you can see, and you're like, oh, there's a problem. We need to treat that. The problem is deeper. All right. That's just the thing you can see outwardly. The cancer is in the bloodstream. The whole system is infected with this. The DEI, yeah, it's bad, but the problem is actually underneath that. The whole system has been corrupted by a lack of standards and a lack of integrity in what exactly we're supposed to be doing at the university level. And again, this is, all schools. It's not just like, oh, these are certain types of schools. This is the norm. Every type of school, from 2-year schools to giant universities to small private schools to major Ivy League private schools, all along the spectrum, this is happening almost everywhere. There might be a few outliers, but many people have this flip. They think, oh, this is just a couple crazy schools and a couple crazy professors. Everything else is still pretty okay. No, it's the exact opposite. There are still a couple that are trying to do the right thing, and 90% of everyone else has gone on the crazy train with these ideas. So that's the real problem. We're dealing with a symptom. The disease is actually the standards and the decrease of quality in what higher education is supposed to be. So now